Outlook. With Lisa Kelly and Louie DePalma.
Welcome to the Outlook with Lisa and Louie. This is the first of a 7-segment series that will explore the benefits of inclusion in the workplace, and specifically how it relates to persons with disabilities. Good to see you, Lisa.
Likewise, Louie.
Today's episode is going to be building inclusion in the workplace.
That's a really critical topic.
Absolutely. You know that companies are just struggling to find talent.
Yeah, and I also think that inclusion matters to the customers and consumers that shop. We want to reflect the communities that we work in.
Yeah, and you know the stats, 20 to 22% of people in our communities have self-identified as having some form of disability.
And we also need to remember that's both visible and invisible disabilities. So not just mobility differences, but perhaps learning differences, mental health conditions, neurological conditions that we might not know about.
And that's why we say when you're dealing with customers, don't make assumptions.
It's really, really true. Consumers are taking their businesses to places that are more inclusive. It's absolutely critical. What are we going to be talking about and who are we talking to?
Oh, we're going to be talking to inclusive businesses, we're going to be talking to employees, we're going to be talking to experts that are going to give us some great information on building inclusive work environments.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. Let's get started.
The role of persons with disabilities in frontline work. Lisa, can you provide some comments on that?
Oh, this is such a critical topic. So frontline workers are the face of your brand. They're the first people that your customers and your consumers are going to interact with. And so it's absolutely critical that they reflect well on you, your business, your services, your products. So one of the ways we can do that is by providing training. And in fact, this is outlined under the Accessibility for Ontarians with Disabilities Act, also called AODA or AODA. Take your pick on what you'd like to call it, but they offer a standard on customer service training. So some of the things that are covered under that we want to make sure that people are familiar with is how to interact with people who are experiencing the world differently. This is good not just for people with disabilities, it's great for everyone. And the reason is we want every customer to feel like they're valued and that we're listening and that we understand. So, when we have somebody coming in with a communications difference, maybe we want to have a whiteboard or some way of, interacting in writing. But communication can also be about repeating, speaking more slowly, being able to answer the questions and know where to find the information, to be able to help people with questions about our products and services, but also about where accessible washrooms are. What do we do if someone walks into our business and they happen to have a service animal? What's our policy on that? And does our frontline staff understand that, and are they able to provide adequate service? So do we have a watering area? Do we know where the animal can and cannot go? So we have to be able to address those kinds of concerns. We also need to have a feedback process. So being able to hear about people's concerns and respond to them effectively. Again, that's something that's really, really critical. Being able to notify people of changes when maybe our elevator isn't working or our office is closed down. How are we providing that information? And again, is that frontline staff trained in a way that allows them to offer the service to the widest variety of people that are out there? There's challenges because people with disabilities have been disproportionately affected by the pandemic. So not only our customers, but potentially our employees. So it's really important for us to provide the supports and the tools that we need for them to thrive. Transportation remains an issue. People with disabilities, harder to get to work sometimes.
It certainly does, and I when you were talking about training, I'm thinking to myself, okay, so if I'm a business, Where do I go to better understand the training that I should be providing?
You can call the Discoverability Network. We'll provide you with some free training.
And that's discoverability.network. You can go to the website. There's all kinds of resources there that speak to the AODA. It provides videos, it provides information, it provides booklets. The site was built by employers for employers. So if you're interested in getting that additional information on training, go to discoverability.network.
Thanks, Louie.
Now, let's move into our feature segment for this episode. Today we have Preet Litter. She is the Senior Manager, Human Resources for DSV Solutions, Inc. And Kristen Weiss, Career Connections Day Support Manager at Community Living Mississauga.
Let's go meet them, Louie. Welcome, Preet. Welcome, Kristen.
Thanks, Lisa. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
I think we'll start, Preet, by having you tell us a little bit about DSV Solutions.
Yeah. DSV is a global supply chain and logistics company. We are headquartered in Denmark, and we have a presence in about 80 countries. And at DSV, we very much believe in diversity and inclusion.
Tell me a bit about that. Like, how is DSV inclusive?
Yeah, so DSV is an equal opportunity employer where we strongly believe that having people from all walks of life, where they can maximize their potential and enhance in their career. People with diverse backgrounds and having the diversity in thoughts, I believe, is a business advantage that we can leverage on.
And you're inclusive of people with disabilities, am I right?
Correct, you're absolutely right. We started with this initiative last year, about June, where we focused on this niche community, and as per the stats, they say that 24% of the employee population is comprised of this particular community.
Which brings us to our second organization, Community Living Mississauga. Do you want to tell me a bit about that, Kristen?
Yeah, absolutely. So Community Living Mississauga is an organization that provides support to people who have an intellectual disability, specifically in the Mississauga area. Today, I'm here from Career Connection, which is our employment department, which has been working alongside DSV Solutions.
So inclusion, obviously, central to your business.
Absolutely. I mean, it is the main focus of what we do in the organization as a whole, but in the Career Connection department, we really focus on connecting with businesses in the community to really speak to the benefits of inclusive hiring, really from that business case perspective. We really try to highlight all of those wonderful benefits and the statistics that speak to why businesses should adopt an inclusive work environment.
So Kristen, tell us a bit about those benefits. I think it's important for the businesses out there that are viewing in today. Because sometimes there's these myths about hiring persons with disabilities. What are some of those benefits that you can elaborate on?
Yeah, absolutely. And we definitely spend time trying to debunk some of those myths when we do connect with businesses. So we talk a lot about like those better business outcomes that employers can have, the increases in their profit margins, how profitability can be increased as well. We also talk about how employees who have a disability have better attendance records, tend to be more safe or above average or more safe on the job, and tend to stay on the job much longer than an average employee would. So those retention rates that really speak to what employers typically are looking for are there when we focus on that inclusive market of hiring people who have a disability.
Preet, just back to you for a quick question here. So tell us about your involvement with the Discoverability Network and how has that helped your business?
Yeah, definitely. So we, I would say that you were introduced to us through the Milton Chamber of Commerce, through the HR Roundtable, and then got the opportunity to meet with Lisa, basically when we were, planning to, kick off this project to get the needed support. And now, then Louis, we have our bi-weekly meetings with Donald and Sophia and Community Living. So it's a great partnership, but this is how it started.
And then Donald and Sophia are staff with the Discoverability Network. I just wanted the audience to understand that. And those regular meetings, how are you finding those? How are they working?
Yeah, very useful. So, what we do is we provide an update on the hiring efforts that we have through Community Living or any of the other community partners that Donald or Sophia, they bring any candidates from. And then any challenges that we have, we do discuss that. And as well, they provide any support. Could it be in terms of the job coaches or any other support that we need. So it's a great help, and we feel that we keep the ball rolling with that.
Let's talk about that a little bit more, because I think that's interesting, and Kristen, maybe you can help us out. So how exactly are you involved with DSV in supporting them and becoming a more inclusive employer?
Yeah, absolutely. So as Preet mentioned, this kind of journey started last year, and that initially looked like training that was provided to the management team with DSB around the benefits of inclusive hiring. From there, our role has really focused on being able to pre-screen applicants for the postings and positions they have available. We will provide support, like start to finish, and that's typically what we do provide to businesses. So helping with the interview process, the onboarding process, on the job supports with job coaching, and then that retention and kind of maintenance. So we're here if DSB has any questions, any concerns, we're there for the employees as well to help them kind of navigate any challenges or situations that might arise.
So what's the role of a job coach on site? Tell me a bit about that.
So the primary focus of a job coach is really just to augment the training that's already provided by an employer. So that might look like working alongside the employee to maybe at times reword some of what's the message that's being delivered, maybe potentially put some accommodations in place or suggest some accommodations that are needed if the employee feels that that's necessary. But we're really just trying to complement what's already there, but maybe just make those little tweaks or modifications so that the person is able to learn all the tasks and duties of their role.
Mm-hmm. And Preet, how's that working on the business side?
Yeah, so as Kristen has mentioned that the job coaches help during the interview process, because sometimes the candidates, they're too nervous and do not say much, so they help with the interview process, and then during the onboarding, just to help the employees, I would say, fit in to the DSV culture, and as well any help that they need during the training and onboarding.
Thank you. That was very informative. We're going to continue this conversation. We're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back.
Looking for a job? Let us help. Connect to an inclusive employer in Ontario who wants to hire you. Check out discoverability.network and sign up today. Looking to find talent? Let us help. Seize the opportunity to advance your business. Check out discoverability.network and sign up today.